when it comes to things like choosing prepared piano versus straight piano, choosing an effect-laden guitar? Are you collaborating on the palette and what I'll call in air quotes like instrument choices? Because essentially that's what it comes down to, right? If you were writing for a larger ensemble, you might be writing lines for different instruments, but your different effects approaches essentially are stand-ins for instruments, I would think.
Yeah, I think it depends on the piece. Like there are a couple pieces that Sylvie's written where she's specified that she wants me to do a certain effect in a certain place in the music. But other times I just do it. Or if it's extreme, I might say, hey, is that cool if I do that there? Or same thing with prepared piano. On one of the pieces on this record, Folded Secret, which is a piece of mine, I didn't have any indication of prepared piano. That's just something Sylvie wanted to try. And so we tried it and we thought, hey, great, we feel it adds something to the piece. So in a way, we will decide on effects, but sometimes it's in the moment. I might play an effect on a piece one night and not play it the next night. But in many cases, I think my effects and Sylvie's prepared piano will kind of become part of the composition. Like we'll choose moments for it, and often that'll be how we play it. I tell the story a lot, but we did one gig in Geneva where my pedal board broke, just completely stopped working about 10 minutes into the gig. And I had to do the whole gig with no effects, which of course is possible. But we both felt like, oh, that was a drag because it really felt like something was missing. And I think that's what I realized.
It's almost like a third person is missing, you know?
Yeah, it was very weird. It almost felt like, oh, I almost hadn't realized how much the effects had become part of the compositions.
Much more the guitar than the piano of the feeling.
Right.
You know, some like fancy classical hosts, they don't want me to touch a string, which is fine. We can do a gig with no preparation or no prepared. But I think with no pedal, it's much more tricky.
Yeah. Like we could do a totally acoustic gig, but it is nice to
Yeah.
have these little extra, I think of them like ornamentations or just an extra layer of sound.
There's beautiful passages in some of the music as well. I don't recall if it was the title track or not, but there's a beautiful little acoustic interlude that is sort of a flash of what that could be. Like it's so delicate and creates such a beautiful sort of tension and contrast with some of the other approaches that you both take. Sylvia, I wonder, you and Mary are improvising together. What are you listening for in her playing? What's your rooting in her playing?
Yeah, I know her sound and I love her large interval and her approach, and her unique sound. That's what I look for, maybe.
Her playing is very free of cliche, so I'm always curious about that. And for improvisers, do you rely on cues or signals, or is it entirely sound that you're looking for?
Let her surprise me. I just love her playing, and I think we surprise each other on tour, and I like that, and that makes me want to go on tour and wants to make more.